Have you ever wondered where Spock gets this famous hand symbol from? Well, it comes from an ancient Jewish tradition known as Birkat Cohenim, the blessing of the priest. My name is Esther Ben-Bihi, and you're watching The Deed, and this is how we do it.
The famous joke is this fellow who comes to the rabbi and he says, "I'd like to be a Cohen." And the rabbi says, "I can't. What do you want?" So he tells him, "I'll give you $1,000, make me a Cohen." And it goes on until he offers him a lot of money. And finally the rabbi says, "Okay, I'll make you a Cohen. But why do you want to be a Cohen?" He says, "Because my father was, my grandfather was, and my great-grandfather was." So he says, "Okay, so you're a Cohen."
We know that the Jewish people are made up of three different categories of Jews. There are the Kohanim, the Leviim, and ordinary Yisraelim. A Cohen is someone who is descendant from Aaron, the brother of Moses. A Levi is anyone that comes from the tribe of the Leviim, of Levi. And Yisraelim are all the other Jews that come from the other tribes. The mitzvah of Birkat Cohenim, or the priestly blessing, is a mitzvah that is done on the Jewish festivals. It's done on Rosh Hashanah, on Yom Kippur, on Sukkot and Shmini Atzeres and Simchat Torah. It is done on Passover and on Shavuot. The reason the Birkat Cohenim is done on the festivals is because a blessing must be communicated in a joyful mood. And on the holidays, on the festivals, people are in a joyful mood, and therefore that is the right time to do it.
Okay, the process starts really before. First thing that we do is we wash our hands, because the washing of hands makes the hands holy. As we know, in the morning and before we eat bread or something, we wash our hands because it makes the hands holy. And before you make a blessing, you have to have holiness.
The Leviim of the congregation will go out and do the washing of the Kohen's hands.
So do you mean temporarily during while the congregation is praying, you leave, quickly go wash your hands and come back?
That is correct. That's what we do. We not only quickly, if there's a lot of Kohanim, they wait for us to come back.
And then what happens?
Just before you go up to the platform or wherever you're going to do it, we take off our shoes.
The Torah tells us that Moses, when he approached the burning bush, which was the presence of God, he was told by God, "Remove your shoes because you are standing on holy ground." This is one of the reasons why the Kohanim take off their shoes at Birkat Cohenim, because they are going to be standing in the presence of God.
The Kohen first faces the Aron Kodesh with the talus over his head. He's facing the Aron Kodesh.
That's the ark.
That's the ark. That is correct. He faces the ark. After that, in the middle of the blessing, he turns around and faces the crowd.
Okay, so as you're providing the blessing, what is the rest of the congregation doing? Or what's their role?
Okay. At the beginning, they're just standing quietly. First of all, there's rules that they also cover their head with their talit. They're not allowed to look at the Kohen. And the reason that they're not allowed to look at the Kohen is the tradition says that God's light passes through the hands of the Kohen when he blesses the people.
It's important to point out that a blessing should always be given face to face, and therefore the Kohanim will turn to face the community, and everyone in the community in the congregation should be facing the Kohanim. The Kohanim put their hands up in a specified manner during the blessing of the Kohanim.
Most people think that it's like this and it's like this, which,
Right.
However, that's not true. There has to be 5 windows. This would only make 4. See, if I do it together like this, I only have 4. I have this space, this space, this space, and this space,
Right.
which makes only 4. There has to be 5 windows, because it says, Meitzitz min harakim. It says, God looks through the cracks. And it could have said harakim, which is just cracks, and he uses hey before it, which is a hey, which is 5. So we know that it has to have 5 cracks. So in order to make 5, we split these fingers in as this to make a separate window right in over here. And that makes it the 5th crack. And we don't hold our hands like this, just that you understand, we hold our hands like this, and it looks like this when we're under the talit. And at the end of the blessing, everybody answers Amen. And then there is a follow between the Chazan and the Kohanim. There's a sing-song, there's a special song. The cantor starts it, and each word we say it after him. First he says a word, and then we repeat it. And then he says the next word, and we repeat it.
What's the purpose of giving the blessing?
This is one of the commandments of God. It's one of the 613 commandments, is the priest giving the priestly blessing. If everybody who says prayers in the morning, they say it before. It's one of the things that everybody says. And it says, and God said to Aaron that he should give this priestly blessing, and the priestly blessing is, Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha, Yor Hashem panav elecha v'yichanecha, Yisa Hashem panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And it's clearly in the Torah, in the Bible, clearly states they have to make this as one of the 613 commandments.
And what does the blessing mean? What is it for?
The blessing is a blessing of health, richness, and being cared for and watched over. So it's clearly a blessing in which is for the protection of all Jewish people. And in a lot of synagogues, children, young ones, even women who never come to synagogue try to get there just for Birkat Cohenim in order to get the blessing.
My name is Esther Ben Bihi with the Deed, and that's how we do Birkat Kohanim.